All right, everybody, welcome to the NARC All-Stars at Cedar Lake Speedway running the 360 wing sprint cars. And tonight we've got the luxury of having the voice of NARC After Dark in the booth with us, Mr. Mccartney. And
Hello, everybody.
we may have another guest later. We'll see. He's supposed to be here, but he appears to be on a coffee break right now. So we'll see what we get. But we just got done with a nice little warm up. The tracks kind of burn in. Like I think they definitely put some love into it here, and we're getting ready to everybody hop out there and hit up the qualifying.
It'll be interesting to see what everybody uses for lines here. I'm thinking I saw a pretty significant amount of slick into 1 and into 3 already. So
Yeah, I do think
line
the track,
choice,
especially for an all-star race where we we maybe don't go quite as aggressive with the track sometimes in the beginning. We're starting to see it slick off, but I tell you, the interesting thing to see tonight will be where the Team SSR guys end up, because those guys have been putting in the work. And let me tell you, if you watched the qualifiers last night in Cedar Lake in the 410s, um, they had a very good showing. We could not have been prouder of how they ended up.
was it 6 at least affiliated to Team SSR? Top
I think
25 in points right now.
I think there's 7 affiliated SSR cars in the top 25. Now it's a long way to go. We've got the qualifier 6 weeks, and it's got a variety of tracks. But um, to be there after week 1 has got to be great for those guys. So
Yeah.
speaking of Team SSR and SSR Elite, Justin Sherman sitting right on top there.
Jake Sonnentag just took it by 200ths.
Spoke too soon. This is an interesting battle that kind of plays out with the Team SSR and the SSR Elite guys. I don't think there's any internal um, fight between them, but it is interesting to see that we definitely have some of these Team SSR guys um, that may not have joined the team as to be on a high level team, but to be just on a team of people who enjoy racing together. Really running up there with the elite guys who are there to, like, that team was built to try to qualify people into pros. So that it's cool to see those guys kind of fighting. And we look at the top of the board, Jake Sonnentag, man, that kid is just getting fast in everything. It doesn't matter what he gets in now. He's always at the top.
Yeah, I've run against him in a big block, and trying to pass him in a big block is impossible. Trying to pass him in a late model is impossible. He is just bad fast right now. We had Jake 1, Sherman 2, and Greg Keppel, one of the new members of Team SSR, was 5th in the qualifying. So it's like he'll be starting on the outside of this first heat.
Yeah, so our starting grid here for heat number 1 is going to be Jake Sonnentag on the inside of the front row with Greg Keppel, so a Team SSR all front row. Tyler Schultz and Robert Boggs in row 2, and Jeremy Weigel and Jared Culbertson in row 3.
We've got David Flick and Jordan Lawrenson in row 4, and bringing up the rear is Rob Golombeski. Take a stab at that.
Good pronunciation skills there.
Rob, if I butchered it, I'm sorry. Yeah, looks like they're all set to roll off.
Lights are out on the pace car here, so we should be getting ready to go green.
10-lap first qualifying heat for the All-Star 360 is about to get underway.
Looks like we do have one more lap pace here.
Hey, Bruce.
Yeah.
Jordan just messaged me. We're not showing any broadcast right now.
That's awesome. Well, I can totally fix that, though. I never claimed to be the greatest broadcast producer. I just claim to be someone here.
Shout out to Jordan
All
for
right.
helping us fix that. But here we go. Jake pulls out
Sontag
to the
hops
early
out to that
lead.
early lead, yeah. And he's going to start to gap the field a little bit. Running a very conservative line, which early in the heat races can work. Um, and with the track being so tacky, it's probably going to be hard to catch up on him here. See, really pretty much the whole field straightening out. Not a lot of racing. This is tacky track at its best, although Boggs is going
Does
to make a little bit of a move on
Boggs?
Schultz, but Schultz has him on the exit.
Schultz is trying. He tried the top side a few laps ago. He's trying the bottom side now. If he's going to lose out on that front row starting position in the feature, he's going to make sure it's worth it.
Schultz is kind of an interesting character. It's he was in the Ignition Series this year, which is our feeder series, and he just got good really quick. I guess I don't know. They decided to promote him early, and in the All Star side, he's been up there competing in the top 10 every week since then.
Yeah, he's come in. He's come in quick. It's really unusual, especially in the sprint cars here at NARC. From my experience, I won one of my ignition races, and I don't think I qualified for my first sprint car race once I made it to NARC. So good on Schultz to make it in here early and make it in and be competitive.
That'll give that heat race to Jake Sonnentag. Looks like our finishing results there: Sonnentag, Schultz, and I lost it too quick to say out loud.
And we're gonna have heat race 2 rolling off here.
Yeah, heat race 2 starting grid here. We got Justin Sherman, Team SSR on the inside of row 1. We've got Brent Hagan on the outside of row 1. Kyle Matson, a long-time NARC and SSR community member, and Mace Germain falling in that same boat. Mace has been around since the beginning. Rounding out row 2.
Yeah, we've got row 3 is Brandon Boyles on the inside, Connor Dudek on the outside. Row 4 is Jeff Kramer and Christopher Schaefer on the outside, and bringing up the rear is Todd Hutton.
Justin Sherman, known for his very plain Jane race cars, real life and in sim.
Justin does not like to spend money on the decals. He likes to spend money on the motor, we'll say.
We try to buy him new parts, and he's like, no, this old thing in the back of the garage will work just fine.
It's got some cords showing, I think, on that front right tire. Might be
He must
time
have
for him to
pulled that
invest it and
out of
buy
your
a new
pile,
one.
Kurt.
Well, if there's rubber on it, it's probably not coming off my pile. Here we go. A little jumbled at the start. Justin gets away clean. It's like most of the action's back in the pack. 3 wide. Mace is falling back. Ooh, Kyle. That's unfortunate.
That's Germain getting into it.
But nice recovery for Mace to keep on going. Still got Justin out in front and Hagen behind. Looks like battle with Dudek might be coming for Hagen, though, for second. Let's see how this plays out. It's very much like the first heat. Everybody seems to be following roughly the same line. Personally, I think right around heat 3 is where we're going to start seeing some different lines come into play and people trying to mix and mingle to get ahead.
Connor Dudek, a little bit of an interesting story. This is his first season with NARC. And he's been running the All Stars pretty consistently. He's been running both sides pretty consistently, but the All Stars in the beginning of the season, I mean, Dudek was constantly on the podium and constantly battling for the top one or two spots. But the last few weeks, I don't know whether it's the tire model or whether it's the field just getting better. But he's had to race a little bit harder.
It could be a combination. I'm not sure what else Dudek runs, but I know even for me, coming from more of a modified run, the tires and the sprint cars feel very different than a few weeks ago. Much different racing a sprint car now than it was, last week or the week before, whenever that update happened.
So we have Sherman taking the checker there with Hagen, Dudek, and Voiles being your four transfers, followed by Creamer, Schaefer, and again, did not read that fast enough. All right, well, starting grid for heat race number 3, and it does look as if we're going to have 4 heat races tonight. So we've got Christian McCartney and Dylan Ayler on the front row. Ryan Washak, who I believe took home a
He did.
um,
Congratulations to Ryan.
qualifier win last night. And Jeffrey Stewart, elbows up, teammate of mine in row 2.
In row 3, we've got Tommy Brandon on the inside and Kenny Hoffman on the outside. Congratulations to Kenny for also winning his split in the pro qualifier last night. Row 4 is Brandon Surratt and Kale Big Richard Halba on the outside. And bringing up the rear in this one will be Jason Butterfield.
Yeah, and a little round of applause for Kale, too. He won the Ignition special event tonight where they invite the NARC guys out to run with the Ignition, so he had a good run in that.
Here we go, pushing off. No push trucks on the track, but all the cars push off. Looks like somebody failed the grid. So Jason will fill in that spot. We'll have an 8-car heat race.
Was it Brandon? I think it was Brandon Surratt that failed a grid.
I believe you are correct. Yep, -1 lap for Surratt.
Definitely some guys in the back of the pack that are a little surprising here. I mean, Kale's been fast, Tommy's been fast, Kenny's been fast. Like all these guys been putting a lot of effort in here, and I think the field is super tight right now.
Yes, like I said, I think this is going to be the heat race where it starts to get interesting. You see a lot of that slick developing into 3. What are people going to decide to do when they see that? But here we go.
McCartney's going to take an early lead. And that top lane is already starting to form with Ayler kind of up there, and you can see, Washak makes a heck of a move sliding in front of Ayler.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it looks like
attempt the return, but he can't quite make it. He's going to have to give Washak the position here. That.
Oh, I'm not sure if they connected there, if that's just we've been seeing a lot of net code lately since they changed the physics on the open wheel cars. Either way, that's unfortunate. Those two were.
And a 3-car slider for Kenny Hoffman. He loses it on the exit, but still,
what a move. Still has the transfer spot. He is on the bubble right now. We'll see what he does. He is breathing down Stewart's neck.
And I can tell you, Stewart's just going to stay right up there as high as he can. And he's going to make it hard for Kenny to... And that's unfortunate.
It's a lot of take right now, not a lot of give on the track.
Not a lot of give, but look who here is in P2. The old Hunger Buster himself, Kale Heibolt, sitting here in P2 of this heat race.
Kale comes in and he runs a blue collar race. Kale shows up, unloads the trailer, takes the car out on the track.
You mean the piece of plywood with 2 tires on the back of it?
Trying to be nice right now, Bruce. But he unloads. He's got his setup. He knows what he wants that car to do. If it's going to work, it's going to work. And if not, it doesn't. But Here we go. White flag lap. We've got McCartney, Kale, Tommy, and Jason running in fourth. Washak, nice recovery. He's back up to fifth after that accident.
I hate seeing that bad luck for my teammate Jeff Stewart. He has had a rough couple of weeks. So McCartney, Heibolt, Brandon, and Butterfield are going to be your transfers out of heat race number 3. And that takes us to heat race number 4. And on the front row, we're going to see Mason Inman and Jareth Pike. Second row, Team SSR Elite guy, Brady King and Timothy Alton. Little known fact, Timothy Alton and Ryan Wayshock, good friends. They race together a lot, so they're probably talking through and sharing setup stuff on this too.
Yeah, that's a big part of it. And in row 3, we've got Joshua Berkey and Chris Marcantonio giving me the good ones tonight. Row 4, we got Joe Howe and Brandon Garman, Team SSR on the outside, and bringing up the rear is Al Denton. And before we get started here, I just want to shout out that I did get Rob's last name right, according to Rob, so we're doing good.
You're 1 for 1 on the night.
1 for 1. Heat 4, here we are. It's going to be interesting. We had a lot of people running a slider line into 3 and 4. I saw in the last heat race. I don't know what I'd be doing here. I'd probably just stick to top. What about you, Bruce?
I think you got to stick to the top until you get past, but when you got to pass, you're gonna have to throw it. I do not think the bottom's going to be fast anymore. We shall see, though, as they come to the green. Inman takes the green. Somebody getting a little loose in the back.
Loose in the back. Brady's fourth. Alton third. And we've got Inman in first. Pike in second. King is showing in third. Or fourth now. Alton ahead of him.
This is a very difficult track state because you could make a move here. You could try to move around, but the risk, because of how close the cars are, the risk of losing a lot of momentum that you can't gain back is pretty high. So if you're in a transfer spot, I think you're just going to play it easy until somebody puts pressure on you, and then you're going to have to run your race. There is no sense in missing the show to gain a couple of rows in the feature.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. Now, I feel we're a little risk adverse. Now, the other side of that coin is one position's 4 cars in the feature. And as our friend Greg says, the only time you get to pass people, you can pass the whole field, is in qualifying. There's a close second to that. If you could pass 1 car, you passed 4 going into that feature event.
Yep, but you lose 1 position, and that's 4 positions as well.
I agree with you, 100%. But don't know if every driver on the track will feel the same as us.
See, Brady's gotten right back up to the tail tank of Alton, but again, this is one of those high risk, high reward situations. And with Joe Howe right on their tail tank, I don't know that I wouldn't just be careful here and do what I needed to do. There's not enough room for Howe to throw a slider.
3 wide. White flag, here we come. This time by, is Joe going to throw anything? Is Brady going to throw anything? Alton's in as long as he doesn't mess up this line.
Oh, but he gets loose.
Here we go. Who gets it at the line?
I think Brady's going to get him right at the line.
Oh, that was really good race. He left the door open for Joe. Joe took it. He just couldn't get it to stick down enough.
0.062 seconds interval on those two.
That might be the closest we have.
Alrighty, well, a C main with some interesting names in it. Jeff Stewart on the front row with Josh Berkey and Jordan Lawrenson and Todd Hutton in the second row.
We've got Kenny Hoffman on the inside of the third row and Al Denton on the outside. Greg Keppel on the inside of row 4. Kyle Madsen on the outside. And Brandon Surratt and Brandon Garman. Brandon's bringing up the rear. A lot of names I wouldn't have expected to
I
see in a
didn't
C
see.
main
Did
tonight.
did Brandon Garman get into something in the heat race? Because I did
Uh,
not see him.
he came over the comms in game and apologized for something. So I believe he did in fact get into something. But there is a lot of cars in this race
There are a
that
lot of
could
cars here
pass.
that are fast, and there's a lot of cars here that are a little unknown. You know, that this is that track state where either they're going to start to struggle or they're going to have something figured out and they're going to be able to hold up. If you got guys who get stuck down on the bottom, it's you know they're going to be sitting ducks, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I'm going to be really interested to watch what my teammate Brandon does here. He's been doing really good in the weekly Saturday night series here at Cedar Lake, and he's got his setup pretty dialed in for this track right now. So
Probably have you
it's
could
going to be
probably see
interesting to
this
see what he
better
can
than
do in
me,
eight
but
laps.
I think probably have 4 transferring out of this, right?
Yeah, 4 transfer out of the B, and then 4 transfer out of the C, and 8 will transfer out of the B. So there will be cars eliminated in the B main as well. Pace cars driving off. It's really up to your teammate on when they start, and it looks like here we go. Jump start on the outside. That outside line's not going to have an easy time now. They're going to have a lot of work to do to catch up.
That is the hard way to do that start, but sometimes you got to be aggressive.
Get Kenny sticking that right rear right up on the fence. He is
Yeah,
absolutely flying right now.
he's going to be in
Definitely the
second
fastest
spot
way
in
around
about
the
a lap.
track. It's really a matter of how long until one of these leaders looks at their relative and sees how fast Kenny's coming up on them and says, maybe I should do what he's doing. He is now in third. He is absolutely flying through the field.
But
Brandon Garman already up to fifth as well. He's working the middle of the track really, really well.
but the fastest car on track right now is Josh Berkey. He is a tenth of a second faster than everybody, running the split line, bottom in 3 and 4, top in 1 and 2. And sometimes that's what you got to do. And look, he is definitely gaining on Jeff Stewart.
He is gaining. Kenny's gaining.
Kenny's
They
picking
are
up though.
hunting down Stewart together.
I think Kenny's figuring it out. He has knocked about 2 tenths off of his lap time in the
Well,
last lap and a half here.
he might be waving goodbye. He might have second on this lap. And he does. Down the backstretch into 3 and 4. He will cross as long as he doesn't mess up in second place. Did he
Yeah,
get
we're
him?
going to have Stewart, Hoffman, Berkey, and Lawrenson. Your 4 transfers. Greg Keppel, your first out of the show, followed by Garmin and Denton.
And here we go into the B man right away. Interesting to see if those guys change anything, if those laps on the track help them at all.
I tell you, if I were Kenny Hoffman, I wouldn't be changing anything.
I wouldn't change anything.
So we have 8 coming out of the B main here, and we're going to start with David Flick and Jeff Creamer on row 1, Ryan Wayshock and Joe Howe in row 2, Jeremy Weigel and Chris Schaefer in row 3.
Row 4, we've got Dylan Ayler on the inside, Chris Mark Antonio on the outside, Jared Culberson and Mace Germain in row 5. And then bringing up the rear is Jeffrey Stewart and Kenny Hoffman. We have 2 more cars behind them, though.
You're right, we do.
We have Josh Berkey and Jordan Lawrenson as well. So Berkey struggling here, working his way through the soup. Can he go from the last row to the front row? We'll see. It'll be interesting to see if anyone was paying attention to that bottom line coming in as well.
Yeah, and at the end of that race, I do think the top was definitely where it was, but you have to be able to run it. You have to be able to run it where Hoffman was running it, and
running it
That's going to
right
get
up on
harder
the
and harder.
fence. And these walls here, I know from experience, you can climb them so easy and knock the rear out. But here we go. Who's going to go where? What decisions are going to be made into turn one? We're going to be 3 wide for the lead. It looks like Wayshock went to the bottom, and that pays off for him. He slides up top into the lead as we take the lap 2 counter. Looks like the field's starting to stretch out a little bit. Jeremy Weigel in fourth, Culberson and Flick following him. It's like they are running roughly the same lines.
But Chris Schaefer over here in the transfer spot right now, and this is a little bit of a hornet's nest.
Yeah, throw a
Now
blanket over them.
Hoffman's going to take the transfer, and he's going to start moving forward, but gets in the wall a little bit.
And here we
There is
go.
some
3
beating and banging
wide.
back here.
3 wide, a little bit of slick on the track. It gets a little difficult. There's really not a whole lot of room for Hoffman to work through right now. It looks like him and Stewart getting each other.
Oh, but
3
a
cars
big
wreck.
crash. That might have completely changed the outcome of the race here, as suddenly the race for the transfer spot is between 2 cars.
Schaefer and Flick. It looks like Stewart and Berkey, Flick, Ayler, all right around that bubble position right now.
Yeah, Flick, we've got Stewart in the transfer spot right now, but Flick is back there, and he's not losing ground. He's not gaining a ton of ground. I don't know that he's going to have enough laps, but if Stewart bobbles, Flick's going to be there. We go back up to the front of the pack, and we've got Ryan Wayshock taking the white
Right on the
flag
fence.
right on the lip there. He has no competition behind him. And Ryan Wayshock, your B main winner. Wayshock, Creamer, Howe, Weigel, Culbertson,
Culberson,
Germain,
Jermaine.
Hoffman, and Stewart. Looks like it might have been Stewart getting that 7th spot there at the end.
I'd be interested to go back and see what happened with Hoffman there.
Let's see while we're waiting if we can't do that.
No warm up. It's like the track is in a relatively nice state, but here we are, Wayshock going into turn one.
I'm hunting up a replay here.
The ESRN instant replay.
Let's see if we can watch the last couple laps here. Let's see what happened to Hoffman.
Gets it right up there, but that middle that Stewart's running.
Man, he just got to run.
He got a nice run right up to the end. No,
Yeah, we were on the
that
white flag
turn one,
here.
turn two,
That's where that
middle
turn 1 and
bottom.
2 run. And then he ran the same thing, and Hoffman made a little bit of a bobble, and that's all it took.
That's the issue with running the fence here. It's fast. It's really fast. But if you mess up and tap that wall just the wrong way, it can ruin your night real quick.
All right, well, it looks like we're getting ready for our feature to grid here. I'll throw the starting grid up. We're going to have Jake Sonnentag on the pole, Justin Sherman on the outside, all Team SSR front row again. Christian McCartney and Mason Inman in row 2, Tyler Schultz and Brent Hagan in row 3.
Row 4, we've got Cale, Big Richard Halbert, and Jareth Pike on the outside. Row 5, Robert Boggs and Connor Dudek. Row 6, Tommy Brandon and Timothy Alton.
Row 7, we've got Rob Golombeski, Brandon Voiles. Row 8, Jason Butterfield and Brady King. Row 9 starts our B main transfers in Ryan Wayshock and Jeff Creamer.
10 is Joe Howe and Jeremy Weigel. Row 11 is Jared Culbertson and Mace Germain. Row behind that is Jeff Stewart and Kenny Hoffman.
And that is our starting grid. So
Be interesting to see what do Stewart and Hoffman do off the start here. Big field, tracks pretty slick. Do you hold back? Wait for the accident?
if you're that far
You
back,
go
you got to
for it.
go, especially here. The green flag is out, and Sonentag's going to take that early lead. He's going to play it a little bit cautious going into turn 1 and into turn 2, running that slider. Just not quite comfortable probably with that high entry. Got to remember, these guys that transferred out of Heat 1, they have not been on the track in, at this point, about 35 minutes, which is a long time.
It's a long time, especially here. Cedar Lake is known to dry out and dry out quick.
Yeah, and we've got a battle for the lead as Mccartney has already passed Sonnentag, and now Schultz down on the bottom, going down there as well, and he's going to get in front, but the yellow is out.
Yellow's out. We'll go single
We'll see
file.
if we can't find out what happened here.
Single file after this is the rules in the All Star Series for anyone watching. All restarts are single file. We'll have to see, kind of in the back of the pack here, what happened to bring out this yellow flag.
Yeah, I cannot seem to find the cause of the yellow here.
Maybe just a little before that. There we go. Oh, there's a car entirely sideways.
All right, here we go. I think we have found it. We don't quite know who's involved yet, but
It's like Joe Howe.
oh yeah, we had somebody back there, and he kind of disappeared, so I still
Yeah.
can't quite track who that was.
And the 11 car got pretty loose there as well. So, combination of things, probably iRacing, better judgment through the caution. But looks like we're back to green
Back to
flag
green.
racing. Jake
We're gonna have
Sonnentag trying to hunt down for the lead again. Can he get it away from Mccartney? They are on the bottom, but folks behind them are ripping the lip right now. Is it faster?
it doesn't
Don't
appear
know.
faster, and I got to tell you, since the rules changed, this is my first race in the 360s I've seen here, and I'm starting to wonder whether they maybe don't have enough power to make the top work, which is completely the opposite of what we saw last night.
Yeah, a lot of debate right now around that sprint car tire. Was it good? Was it not good? Um, I think we could do an hour just on that. But right now we've got Kale right in the middle. Uh, three wide. Looks like, is that Robert Boggs
That
he's
was
been
Robert
battling with?
Boggs. Boggs kind of up on the top. Kale running that Kale Heibelt line back there.
Making it work like he always does. Catfishing on that bottom, the middle end.
Mason Inman up on top trying to make it work, but I tell you, all those guys that are really running the top, they're fast for a moment, but you have to run so far on the edge that you really lose a bunch of momentum with a small mistake.
It's so hard to just be up there. I'm surprised nobody's going for that giant strip attack right in the middle of 1 and 2. I have not seen a single car hit that yet. 10 laps into this race. Oh, looks like we've got a couple hitting it now, and they are getting a nice little run off of that. Riding along with Mr. Halbert here. And there is a very plain car. That must be Mr. Justin Sherman.
Got Sherman and Sonentag still right on top of each other, but Sherman gets a little bit
Ooh!
of contact, and that's going to bring out the yellow. What
That's
a
going to
tough
bring out a
break.
yellow. And here in NARC, after lap 15, after lap 10, there are no fast repairs, and we are on lap 15. That will eliminate Mr. Sherman.
Is correct. We are not going to see any more of that car. Let's go back and get a replay of this one again. You can see it was Schultz, I believe, that got into him, and I don't want to undermine Schultz's driving skill because he's put on a really good performance, and he's definitely improved a ton. But this is an example of a move, I think, that it's just getting a tad bit aggressive. Um, on a difficult track, he's having trouble getting by Sherman. He's been trying for laps, but you can see he just drives it in a little too hard. Sherman couldn't have given him any more room, or Sherman couldn't given him any more room. So that's it's just one of those kind of crappy deals.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's it's going to end Justin's night. And Schultz will be able to continue. I don't think there's anything intentional there, but sometimes you get in, you're new, you make an impression, and
A little bit of a
things
rule
happen.
change that we've had this year in NARC is, we used to really try to police the if you caused a caution, go to the back. But the reality is that's not the way real life works. It's not the way it's done in real life, and we moved to a more real model. And racing happens.
There's debates at my local track. I've been a part of them. Who
Yeah,
caused the caution? And you know what? You gotta assume the other driver didn't know you were there, and
it's
that's at
true.
the end of the day, that's what it is. That's just good hard racing, and all averages out in the end. There's a reason we get 2 drop weeks in NARC.
McCartney has gotten to the front and really has just kind of pulled away. He's kind of the class of the field at the moment, and
And
he
he
is just
is,
trucking right in the middle, doing exactly what Cale Heibel did in the Ignition special event race just an hour ago.
yeah, he's right through the middle. He's not even trying for that strip attack in 1 and 2, and I gotta say, he's making it work. Nobody's really catching him. They'll catch him for a split second, but then everybody's just trying to run such a perfect line to try and catch him.
And
One little
and
mistake is causing them to fall back again.
and McCartney's not running a perfect lap either. You can see him, especially in 3 and 4. You can see him actually get into the throttle a little too much, and that's letting Schultz catch up to him.
Yeah, that's part of the thing with these new tires. Every car they're on, you can drive them right through the slick, and you can be competitive right through the slick with these cars now on these tires.
And here's
But you got to
Schultz
have the
gonna
throttle
throw that
control to do it.
slider.
He's gonna throw it. Is he gonna clear
Looks
him?
like they're
Oh,
side
they
by
are
side.
right next to
He's
each
gonna get him
other.
this time though.
He got him. Is he gonna get cut under though? Yes, that would be the move I'd expect to come. And it looks like they're gonna be side by side coming out of
And
2
Schultz
again.
is gonna take the lead and run away with it a little bit here. Schultz
Oh,
Schultz was
little.
having a really good run at Lernerville last week and dropped it off the edge of the track. Will be interesting to see how he does here under a little bit of pressure.
We've got
Just
5
5
to
more to
go.
go.
And right now, it's his race to lose. He's got 3 or 4 car lengths advantage, and looks like second, third, fourth, all in a battle of their own, which is something I'd be really happy to see right now if I was him.
Yeah, this battle back farther in the pack for the podium is definitely where it is, and we've got McCartney and Inman and Mason Inman and Tommy Brandon and Jareth Pike. They're all over each other here.
They are right next to each other. A little bit of net code there, as we've been seeing a lot with these new tire parameters that iRacing's put in. But we've got
3
one
more to
lap to
go.
go,
Oh, 1 lap to
and
go. My scoring just updated.
It looks to be a race to the line here for third,
We're gonna take the white
and
here.
Brandon's gonna get it.
We're on the last lap here.
Oh, I am a lap ahead of myself.
Can Tommy get the pole? And I believe Tommy
He did.
Brandon is going to manage to come out in P3. So
Right
Tyler
through the middle.
Schultz pulls off the win with McCartney there behind him. We'll check out our feature finish results here. Tyler Schultz pulls off the win with Christian McCartney and Tommy Brandon rounding out the podium. We
Yeah.
got Mason Inman, Jareth Pike, and Ryan Wayshock, and then Robert Boggs and Jake Sonnentag.
And, interesting to see. It looks like Mr. Hoffman, I'm not sure how everything else played out, but he might be in play for the hard charger. Last row all the way to the 10th place.
You might be correct there. So we've got Hoffman, we've got Dudek in 9th, Hoffman in 10th, Timothy Alton in 11th, and Weigel in 12th, Rob Golembeski in 13th, Joe Howe in 14th, Jared Culbertson in 15th, Brady King in 16th, Jeff Creamer in 17th, Jason Butterfield in 18th, and then Cale Heibel, Justin Sherman, Jeffrey Stewart, Mace Germain, Brandon Voiles, and Brent Hagan rounding off the field, not finishing the race tonight. I take that back. Butterfield did finish the race. So Sherman and Heibel being the first two off the track.
And unfortunate for them, but sometimes that's just how your night goes.
How the cookie crumbles. But it looks like we might have a microphone down there on Tommy Brandon. Let's see if we can touch base with him. Tommy Brandon, what a run tonight.
Thank you. Yeah, it was fun, man. It was awesome to get out and actually do pretty decent in the wing car for a change.
It's been a
So,
while. You've had a rough and tumble wing sprint car experience this season. Not having a lot of luck. I can totally feel that. That was my wing sprint car season last year. Seemed to go that way. But today I was glad to be able to maybe trade places with you and give you a shot to run somewhere that you like to be.
Yeah, it was fun, man. Shay actually just said that in the live stream. He's like, "Yeah, and you almost broadcasted tonight." So I'm glad you did it for me, and I was glad to come out and to run. It was a lot of fun. I didn't know how the night was going to be. I basically built the setup in between the late model race and this for the feature, and luckily we had something that was pretty good.
so Tommy, take us through those last couple laps. Me and Bruce were in here watching that battle. You finished third. You could have finished as high as second and as low as sixth. It seemed. What was going through your mind with all those cars around you?
It was crazy, man. It was a hornet's nest. After that last caution, I realized that they weren't pulling away from me, and I was actually gaining on them. And so at that point, I realized that I had a shot at fifth, and I just kept running my line, and those guys just kept moving up, and I just was able to pick them off. Had a little bit of contact there that was kind of scary there with a couple laps, but I was able to save it, and yeah, pull off a third place. So I'm happy, man. It was an awesome night tonight.
Congratulations, Tommy. It's well deserved. Anybody you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, first of all, thank you guys for broadcasting, and obviously, everybody who helps out with the NARC League, Kale and you, Bruce, and I mean just everybody, Greg, everybody, all the admins. Sorry if I'm not saying your name, just there's so many of us, but and then everybody in the SSR community for just being a part of it. It's a lot of fun, man. And then Personal Evolution, ESRN, obviously SSR, 5-6 Graphics, and Whiskey Oval TV, man.
Well, congratulations, Tommy, and hopefully this is the turning point for you, and this little rule change we saw last week might play in your favor.
Yeah, thanks, guys, man. It was fun. Have a good one.
All right.
You too, Tommy. It's like
Tyler Schultz from ignition to NARC All-Star winner in just 14 days. How does it feel?
It feels awesome. This is actually my first win in any kind of league event, and the car was hooking up great, and I just took advantage of it.
And what a great run. You have had quite a. I don't think you entered Ignition in a position where you were just way faster than everybody. I think you've just seen a lot of improvement over the last 5 or 6 weeks, and that's saying a lot, especially in the midst of a tire model change and some physics changes and track state changes. You know, when you're trying to grasp things like that and they keep changing things on you, it's definitely not easy.
No, yeah, definitely. It was definitely a big jump. I felt like the tire model change actually played into my favor. I started really figuring out making some tweaks on my own car, and started making some adjustments here and there and figuring things out. I worked on it tonight, and it felt amazing. It was hooking up everywhere I put it, so I just tried to do the best I could. I'm definitely thankful to the SSR guys. I'm not on their team or nothing, but it's a great atmosphere, and I'm definitely grateful to have the opportunity to be in this league and in this group with these guys because they're very helpful, and they've definitely played a big part in why I'm up here tonight.
That's pretty cool to hear. I would have to agree with you, but I have some skin in the game, so it's probably probably safe to say I agree with you.
A little bit of bias on our end there. But at the end of that race, Tyler, just take us through, as Bruce said 14 days ago in Ignition, to throwing a slider for the win here today. What was going through your mind those last couple
Oh,
laps?
I wish I was wearing a heart rate monitor. I'm still kind of shaky. It was crazy. My nerves were running high, but I was like, just believe in the car, believe in the car. It felt good all night, so just it feels even better now. But from start to finish, the car was super tight at first, so I was just like, I'm gonna play it safe the first couple laps, run the bottom. Well, I put it on the bottom and was passing everybody. I was like, okay, I wasn't expecting that, so I just kind of tried to be as smooth as possible, and then I tried to go up top somewhere in there the first 10 laps, I think, and it shot sideways on me. I was like, that wasn't good. So pulled the wing back and just kind of rolled around, tried to regain my composure, and then once I figured it out, I I just went for it, no mercy. Just was going. I know I had a one slider in there. I'm not sure who that was that I got into a little bit, and I'm hoping that I didn't throw that too deep. I got to see the replay on that. I thought I was trying to stay down as low as possible away from him.
I think that was Kenny Hoffman, and I might stay away from his trailer tonight.
Yeah, I'll definitely. I'm already packed up and I'm about to drive home right now, so as fast as I can. But yeah, words can't explain. I'm excited. This is my first time being
That's
on the
awesome.
top up here, and I'm very grateful for all of the SSR guys and all of y'all for all your help.
Well, anybody else to shout out tonight? Any thanks? Family, friends, pets?
Yeah, definitely. Got a Team Outlaw Motorsports. All my teammates over there, they helped me get started in this in the first place, and Um, ABR Setup Shops helped out. UDTV. I'd love to thank you guys for broadcasting this and putting on this race and giving me the opportunity to even be talking to you right now. And yeah, thank all those guys and thank you guys, and hope we can do this again next week.
Awesome. Well, congrats, Tyler Schultz, on his first league win right here in the NARC All Stars at Cedar Lake. Thanks for coming.
All right, thank you.
Looks like we've got our
And a little bit out
runner.
of order here, Christian McCartney, if he can unmute.
Yeah, hello guys.
How's it going, Christian? What a run. You like the class of the field there for the beginning of the race, and then I think you made a couple of bobbles and let Tyler catch you, and then it just became hard to pass, it looked like. Tell us about what was going on there in those last 10 laps as you started to reel him back in, and what you think the turning point was for you.
Yeah, well, he was fast there on the top, and my car just didn't quite handle well on the top. The bottom in the middle, it was quick, but just yeah, he had the finesse to work the top and made the time up on us, got around us, and after that, yeah, just hard to pass when it gets like that. But good run nonetheless.
For sure. Well, you have anybody you want to thank? Any special help you've gotten? Anybody out there turning wrenches for you?
Well, certainly I want to thank the SSR Insider Program. I- I've only been for a few weeks now, but a lot of great information, just a lot of learning kind of thing, and tonight that pays off. Of course, the admins and you guys in the broadcast booth for NARC. This is an excellent series kind of thing, and for the admins to put this on, a lot of time and a lot of work. And then, I'd also like to thank my parents who watch every night on ESRN. So that's pretty awesome. They live about 5 hours away, so it's kind of cool for them to tune in. And then also, I'd like to thank my fiance for giving me the night off to be able to do some racing.
Oh, we all thank them for that one.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely awesome to hear, especially that your parents get to have that look into some of your hobbies and some of the things you enjoy doing. Your fiance gives you the time to do that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. This is a pretty cool deal here. So I'm stoked. I'm still shaking from that race. So pretty awesome.
Congratulations, great run, and we're glad to have you out there, and look forward to seeing you again up here next week.
Yeah, yeah. We'll be turning wrenches this weekend. Yeah, hopefully we've got the speed next week too. So
Cool. Well, great run. Congrats. We'll see you later.
yeah, have a good night, guys.
You too. All right. Well, Kurt, that rounds out, an hour and 7 minutes of racing. You can't beat that. You can't go to your local dirt track and watch a whole show with that much racing in just an hour and 7 minutes. So, and for most of us, we're already just footsteps away from our bed. We don't even have to drive home.
Yeah, no drive home, no showering to get all the dirt off that comes off the track.
Well, see, I still have to take a shower because my wife actually goes out into the backyard and gets cups of dirt and randomly throws them at me while I'm racing. Just it's that
Give you that
realism effect. Yeah,
real sim experience.
yeah. So
It's your incentive to run out front, I suppose, so you don't have the dirt thrown at you.
yeah, and make sure you keep the visor down because it gets dusty in here. So, but what a great night! 30 laps of NARC All Star action here at Cedar Lake wraps up with Tyler Schultz sitting on the top of the podium with his first ever league win and his first ever NARC win all in the same night. Pretty cool to be able to do that. So thanks for coming out. We'll go ahead and sign off here for Kurt and myself, and we hope to see you on our next broadcast. And the next
Yeah.
NARC race, for those of you who aren't aware, will be broadcast on Whiskey Oval TV, and that'll be the NARC Outlaw 410 sprint cars this week, I believe.
And yeah, I believe it is 410s this week as well, Bruce. And don't forget, guys, if you are a NARC member, don't forget, sign up. The Big Block Nationals are this week at USA starting tomorrow and at Eldora for the 100 lapper on Thursday night. Money to be won. Look forward to seeing everybody out there.
Money to be won and no entry fee for NARC members. So that's the benefit of running our leagues. If you consistently run our leagues, all of our special events are free to enter, and they all pay a purse at the end. And we usually run about 4 of them a season, and we're usually giving out $2,000 or $3,000 a purse a season too. So if you're not a NARC member and you're over 2,000 I rating, and hop on in here and join us and get racing with us. We do have minimum participation for those money races. Like we expect people to be out running with us, but outside of that, once you're a NARC member, you pretty much run anything. Non-wings, midgets, modifieds, late models, sprint cars, doesn't matter what you want to run.
We run at least one race of everything, and if you are under 2,000 R rating, don't fret. Come join us. Come run the Ignition League. It's a feeder series directly in. It's not all about skill. It's all about racing clean and following the NARC rules, showing everybody respect, and really just having a good time. So we got some series for everybody, and there's a path for you if you're under that 2,000 I rating too. So
Absolutely.
come on out and join us.
So we'll call it a night here from Cedar Lake Speedway. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you all next time.